All right. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome to our iMarq Spring 2026 product release webinar. We're very excited to have you all with us today. In this session, we'll be introducing several new features that we believe will deliver immediate value to our customers and far beyond that, we hope. In just a few moments, we're going to walk through what's new and how these updates work and how they can help improve your day-to-day operations. Now, before we jump into the product updates, I'd like to briefly introduce the team leading today's session. My name is Evan Ufkes, and I'm part of the sales development team here at Connixt. And joining me today is our CEO Satish and our CTO Prabu, and together we'll walk through the vision behind these updates and show how they fit into the broader direction of the iMarq platform. So welcome, Satish and Prabu.
Hey, thanks, Evan. And again, hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Truly excited about today's session. We're talking about what is upcoming, and matter of fact, in the next few days, this product, these features will drop out for all our customers. So again, truly excited to talk about this. Again, my name is Satish. I'm the CEO and the co-founder at Connixt. Prabu?
This is Prabu, CTO and co-founder at Connixt. Nice meeting you all. Let's have some fun.
Great. So before we kind of jump right into the updates, I would like to kind of take a step back, right, and look at the why, right? Why iMarq exists today. And speaking from sales team, right, many maintenance teams that I speak with on a regular basis are still dealing with paper forms, disconnected systems, and of course, delays between the field and the back office. Now, that slows everything down, makes it a lot harder to keep their assets running smoothly. iMarq was built to close that gap, right? It digitizes inspections, work orders, and maintenance processes right from your mobile device, be it a tablet or a smartphone, available on the Android store or the Apple store, and then it connects field teams to the back office systems in real time. And the result that we're seeing across the board, faster reporting, better visibility, and of course, more efficient operations. But it's not just about efficiency, right? iMarq helps you keep your assets in top condition, maximizing their life and overall value. It supports maintenance across fleets, rail, manufacturing, heavy engineering, and facilities. And for your teams in the field, it's simple and intuitive. Crews can digitize and automate even the most complex processes, no matter what back-end system that you're using. Essentially, iMarq is bridging that gap, again, between the field and the back office while keeping your operations running at their top.
Yeah, and if I can add here, Evan, you see, so broadly, the three legs of the stool are productivity, intelligence, and safety. And then the benefits, of course, are multifold. But over the years, the one thing that has stayed consistent and constant all through the years has been making life easy for the end user. And Prabu and I have talked about this way back in the past for the lineman, the pipe layer, the mechanic, the technician. This is really the core focus. I mean, everything we do is oriented towards that, including several of the features we're talking about today. Back to you, Evan.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we've covered why iMarq exists and of course the many values it brings, I'd like to just kind of quickly introduce Connixt, as a company. So Connixt as a company, we build products, for maintenance technicians that make their work simpler, smarter, and faster. And that's what we're all about here at Connixt. iMarq empowers crews by following a user-first product development approach. So every feature is really truly designed with the people in mind that are out in the field. There are no throwaway work in our products. Every feature adds real value every day. Our solutions are designed to augment your processes, of course, not replace them, and help teams capture data efficiently, stay connected, and make smarter decisions. Ultimately, our mission is to help organizations run safer, more efficient, and more productive operations across fleets, rail, manufacturing, again, heavy engineering, and those companies that want to help maintain their facilities.
And if I can add one other
Please.
quick element here, Evan and Prabu. Over the years, we've always talked about, ROI and efficiency gains, as well as compliance, requirements that we meet for our customers. But one of the most interesting outcomes we've seen over the years has also been the sheer reduction in paper, in storage, and everything that goes with that, right? Customers have actually documented savings in paper, ink toner, storage space. I mean, so there is a bunch of these things that have happened over the years. And again, we'll talk more about these as we go forward. But again, that's sort of an interesting byproduct to everything we've done.
Just to add to it, we go by our guiding principles. We have talked about this so many times. If there is no value add, we don't bring it as a functionality in our product. We just don't do it for the sake of technology. To achieve all these goals, if there is a value add, then yes, we will go ahead and add it in our product roadmap.
Yep.
Perfectly put. Thanks, Philip. I appreciate that. And then, of course, now you get a sense of kind of who we are, what we're doing. But I'd like to also kind of highlight who is using iMarq. Now, our platform is trusted by teams across many different industries shown here, including companies that maintain their fleets of trucks and trailers, rail service companies, companies that are doing some heavy field work and engineering, and of course, facilities. And these are the people that are relying on iMarq every day to keep their assets in top condition, streamline their maintenance operations, and make operations more efficient. One organization I'd like to quickly highlight before we move on to the next slide is Foothill Transit, based in the San Gabriel and Pomona valleys of Southern California. They are actually one of the first organizations to start using the latest features I think we'll be covering today. So they're getting real hands-on experience with exactly what Prabu and Satish are about to show you, which we're very excited. And that's what brings us to what's new in this release, right? This is why we're all here. And what we're here to cover is it's really our vision, and that we believe that the future of field operations is connected, automated, and increasingly AI driven. With this spring iMarq release, we're continuing to bridge the gap between the field and the back office, from real-time safety alerts, AI-powered maintenance insights, and these new capabilities help put greater operational control directly in the hands of your crews. Now, let's take a look at what's new. And I'd like to hand this off to Satish. Go ahead.
Thanks, Evan. So to those of our customers, especially in the utility industry or in trucking, maintenance, pretty much anything we've seen, there are instances, for instance, of, for example, of what we call lone workers out on the field who need to be alerted to specific situations. And this is especially true with a lot of our utility customers. And certainly, if there are campaigns being run for maintenance or recalls or alerts, so the applications are manifold, and Prabu will talk more about it. But the basic idea here is when a user logs into the Connixt iMarq app, they will see alerts or notifications pop up as required. Prabu, I think, please do talk more about this if you can.
Thanks, Satish. And this basically enhances the real-time communication between the administrator and the field teams. Now, when it comes to configuration itself, the administrators can configure these messages at the user level so that they can target to a specific user or a group of user or a group of users from a specific department or the area, right? So it's at the lowest level, they will be able to configure it. This feature utilizes a login triggered flag to ensure that critical safety alerts, weather updates, and things like that can be broadcasted among all users out there, so that unless the user goes ahead and marks it as, yes, I have read it, we don't allow the user to go to the next step in the process. Now, even forcing that can be decided by the administrator and configure it appropriately, whether to force it or not. That is also a decision making that is done by the administrator itself. Now, having said that, we are also able to track who has read it, when they have read those alerts, and an acknowledgement saying that yes, the user has read it. So all these functionalities are coming along with this message broadcast functionality.
If I can just add a moment before we move to the next one. So these become especially critical. Again, I just want to reemphasize where, if you have, if our customers, when they have their employees out on the field, multiple locations, and if a single message has to go out to them saying that here's an alert that is coming out, or it can be something a lot more structured, which says that given the weather conditions, when my fleet pulls in for servicing, here is an additional check that needs to be run on all these equipment, these trucks. Those are all, standard, fairly straightforward applications to this product. And again, there is more available on the website, and we'll talk more about this as we go forward. Evan?
And just to reemphasize before we go to the next slide, Satish, it's again configurable. You can decide whether a message has to be mandatory or not. Good, Evan.
Yep.
And these are timed out, right? So they can be scheduled messages and in real time, correct?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Absolutely, great. All right, gonna move on to the next slide.
Okay,
Prabu, would you like to take this one?
Yes, I would. So the problem statement here is we work with all our customers, right? Always we hear this issue where, hey, my bin shows I have 3 items, but my EAM shows there is 10 there. These two are not matching. That is where cycle count comes in, right? Once in 6 months or once in 3 months, or based on the policy of the customer, they go ahead and do it even monthly in some cases, right? So this cycle count as a transaction enables a customer to record what is available in the bin and upload it to the EAM system so that it reconciles the quantity that is available for them to use. Now, when it comes to cycle count itself, almost all EAM systems supports it from the backend perspective. But for us, in our case, we have integrated with TruckMate using our own APIs. We push it where a user can go ahead and scan a barcode walking through the shop floor, get the quantity that is available there for that specific part, click on submit. It goes back and updates the EAM system with whatever quantity that is available in the bin. Now, having said that, when we record these stock adjustments inside the EAM system, we don't post those transactions because we go back to human intervention, right? There should be a manager or a supervisor who approves these transactions and takes it further, right? So we go ahead and record it inside the EAM system so that a shop manager logs in and then posts those transactions. So to cut the long story short, it is a real-time sync where as soon as the user submits, it goes back into the system. And when it comes to entering the part numbers, we support both 2D codes and the QR codes for scanning the part number. And also we can add built-in validations in such a way that, say, the ERP or EAM says there is 100 available, but there is only 10 available in the bin. We can build in validations in such a way that, hey, you are going to update this quantity, but there is a big gap here. So before you update it, go talk to the manager, right? So those kinds of validations can be built in as part of the cycle count. Now, having said that, I also want to touch upon our open architecture. Like I told earlier, as of now, we are demonstrating or we are going to release it with TruckMate as an ERP system, whereas in future, this will be rolled out to other EAM systems because we have an API layer there, which is as long as there is a REST API available, we will be able to connect with any EAM ERP system that is available out there. Satish,
Yes.
you want to add something?
No, one of the key things we do want to emphasize here is that this fundamentally addresses, just to supplement what Prabhu has said, the gap between book inventory and physical inventory. Every single customer we have, every single shop they run, the biggest question they have is, do we need to shut this down for cycle counts for 2 weeks? Whether it is weekly, quarterly, we have at least one customer that used to run this at least every 4 weeks. They would have to take stock, and it is a significant downtime for them, and they need to be able to do this easily. And they simply want to get back to doing their maintenance jobs, faster than anything else. And this essentially is oriented specifically towards that requirement.
Yeah, what an easy to use tool, honestly. Just thinking about my brief background, working in warehouses and doing cycle counts throughout my past, I do remember having to write all this stuff down on clipboards and then walk back to my desk and plug it back into the ERP system. So what an easy way to do it. I wish I had it back then. Well, I do see a question here related to cycle counts. How does this stack against the warehouse functionality in our ERP or the lack of it?
We are not here. Oh, go ahead, Satish. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Satish.
Yeah, I was just about to say this, right? I mean, we're not here trying to replace, any heavy-duty warehouse management system if you already have one. This is essentially meant for shop managers, exactly like Evan said in his past life, who need to perform these annual or 6-monthly or quarterly audits of inventory and then do the book balancing. These are not managers who want to shut down their shops for 2 or 3 weeks to complete this exercise. I mean, this is meant for folks who have their regular day jobs, but who are also then expected to complete these audits regularly. So as user-friendly as possible to make sure that this work gets done quickly. And Prabhu, I don't know if you want to add to that, but...
No, you pretty much covered it, Satish. Good.
Such a great feature. All right, moving on. Let's talk about integrations. Prabhu, would you like to lead this one?
Yes.
Great.
This goes back to the open architecture we touched upon in the earlier slide, right? Now, in this case, we have integration with RTA, right? Now, especially service requests. This also goes back to requirement that all customers would need, where they are using our product for all their maintenance operations, right? Day in, day out, for doing DOT inspections, for doing any kind of oil changes, maintenance tasks, anything that we talk, right? Now, during when they are performing their day-to-day task, they see an issue there, which is outside the scope of the task that they are performing. Now, they want to report it. What they do today, they go back, walk to the shop manager and say, hey, by the way, I'm changing oil in this specific bus. There is an oil leak there in some other area, which has to be taken care. There is an oil leak around the oil filter. So it has to be taken care, right? Right now it is manual. There is no way to, retrace it. There's no digital trace available for that specific issue, right? So we came up with the service request. Of course, the service request is there for a long period of time in our product from the mobile app perspective, but we landed up integrating with RTA for this service request. The scope of this, again, just to reemphasize, a user is performing their day-to-day task. They see one other issue. They go ahead and record that by creating a service request using our mobile app, take pictures, speech to text, talk to the app, record everything that is needed. And when they submit, it goes back, and not only it can go through an approval process within our own system so that it gets pushed into RTA. It can go back into RTA and create a service request inside RTA. Now, inside RTA, this service request can be converted to a maintenance work order and pushed out for the regular maintenance task, right? So that's the overall scope of this transaction itself. Like I told again, for cycle count, we are showing with TruckMate. For we are releasing with TruckMate. For service request, we are releasing with RTA. Tomorrow, we are going to connect with Maximo, Trimble, all these other EAM systems for the same kind of transaction. Because service request as a transaction, we can call it as an incident report. Transaction, it is so generic. It can be used for any type of issue reporting from the field. So it is bidirectional. It exactly maintains the asset, it manages the asset, and especially when it gets inserted into or when it gets created inside EAM system, it has images and photographs and additional comments associated with it, which helps the maintenance team to go out and address that issue appropriately.
If I might add here, to those sort of unfamiliar with RTA as an enterprise system, so this is kind of one of these specialized enterprise systems out on the field. Public transit agencies, trucking companies use this. But the principle is still the same. As Prabu pointed out right at the beginning, we're talking about open enterprise architecture. So this very same integration that you're seeing with RTA is equally possible with pretty much any backend system that is out there, things with which we already connect, or legacy homegrown systems with which these connections need to be established. So really, I'm splitting this into two things. One is the functionality you get from the core iMarq is complete when it leads to the second piece of what Prabu talked about, which is the integration with whatever backend system. So there's the functionality component which you gain, but also the fact that it is closed loop with the backend enterprise system that you might have.
Oh, also just to add one final point, right? When it comes to RTA as an EAM system itself, right? As of today, for the spring release, we are talking about releasing the service requests. But earlier, we have already integrated with RTA, where we are pushing in the inspection PDFs into RTA as of today, and also creating work orders inside RTA. So we use standard REST APIs for these from the integration perspective. So there is no customizations. It's standard way of integrating with these systems.
Great, great. Okay, and then lastly, let's move into iBot. Satish, would you like to take this one?
So, so this is interesting, right? So all through last year, we've been working at Connixt on bringing actionable AI to the end users. So keep in mind again what we started off saying, that this has to make life easier for the end user. So two of the first innovations that we introduced were the ability to talk to the app and ask for help with diagnosis, for example, and to be able to do it in whichever language the user is most comfortable with. So of course, Prabu will talk more about these functionalities, these capabilities, but there are other capabilities that you will see come through rolling out all through the rest of this year and into the next. But the core philosophy is still the same, right? This has to deliver immediate actionable value to our customers and of course to the end users, the folks on the field, where this actually gets tested and used. That's where the highest value is being delivered. So Prabu, if you want to talk about the maintenance assistant, that'll be great.
Sure, thanks, Satish. Now, this goes back to, again, our guiding principles that I was mentioning earlier, right? We don't do anything for the sake of technology. We spend so much time in coming up with these use cases that will really help the customer. And we don't want to just use the word AI because everybody is using. This is real use cases which is used by customers today, where they gain or they have value out of it, right? The first one is maintenance assistant, where when a mechanic performing his task on a day-to-day basis, he can use our iBot maintenance assistant and ask any question to that tool, so that it goes to the API, the AI layers out there, and then talks to them and then brings back the response. As of today, We have connected with ChatGPT. In future, we are going to connect with Gemini and all those other platforms, right? So again, if we go back to that open architecture, right? We have built an AI framework where as of today, we have configured it so that it works with ChatGPT and Azure's AI. Now, the other tool that we have introduced, the other use case that we have introduced is language translation. Like when they are performing the day-to-day task for entering commands, right? They don't need to use the keyboard to enter the commands. They can talk to the app. It converts that speech to text and then it types it for them, right? With this AI-based implementation, they can talk in any language and it gets converted to any language. Now, in today's case, they can talk in say Spanish, French, any language of their choice. It can convert it into English and then stores the source language and the target language within our system. Where it is useful, we have traceability, what was told and what was recorded. Since it is in English, there is so much analytics can be run on top of these comments. So to cut the long story short, two use cases we have implemented. One is maintenance assistant, where a mechanic can ask a question and get his question answered. And also a translation engine where they can talk in any language and then we can convert it to any language.
If I can also point to the fact, again, I do want to reemphasize, way back when we started Connixt, we would always talk about actionable intelligence, right? Where reports or dashboards or any insights we offer have to be useful to the end user and technician. This is simply an extension of that. So let's just say our version of AI is still actionable intelligence, of course, with today's meaning of the word, of that phrase AI. But yeah, that's what we've introduced. Truly proud about this, and we're actually going to see a lot more functionality come out all through the rest of this year.
Love the user-first approach. Honestly, these are such great features that I know are going to make some big differences, and it's going to help those using it in the field. I can see it now. From all the conversations I have, I do see a lot of value there. Oh, and I do see a question here. How practical is the use of AI in the field? We are seeing a lot of noise on this front, but are you truly seeing the use for this in the field?
So if I can answer this, and Prabu, please supplement. So Prabu, actually, if you remember, started off saying that, we thought long and hard about this. So the real word I think we want to use is that we agonized about this. We were still trying to find out, where exactly would AI work for our end users? How exactly could we put this in place? So we're not talking theory, but we are actually talking practical use in the field on a daily basis. And again, really happy to say it's one of our earliest adopters in one of the earliest versions of what we were rolling out was actually a public transit agency that has actually been using this today. And, Prabu, if you want to talk for a minute about them, that'll be great in terms of how it can be used now.
Yes, Foothill uses us for their maintenance of electric buses. They use for all their DOT inspections as of today. In fact, like I mentioned earlier, they use our iBot, the Ask Me functionality, where mechanics ask questions. But having said that, we always put a disclaimer there, where whatever response you are getting, end of the day, the mechanic or the person who is responsible has to decide what to adopt and how to use it. That disclaimer is always there. We want to emphasize on that, but they can ask any question. Like, for example, hey, for this bus, battery is draining overnight. This is the specification of the battery and the bus type is this. What could be the reasons? It gives the possible answers, possible reasons for that specific issue, right? So they use it from that aspect of things, where the items that are not covered as part of their standard operating procedure, they can use this. They are using this maintenance assistant to get answers. And when it comes to language, they do speak in Spanish, and then it gets converted to English. It gets stored in our system. Now, they also upload images and things like that. There are some things in the roadmap where route optimization, image analysis, and things like that, where we are planning to use AI framework. But having said that, I just want to reemphasize, We are not doing this just for the sake of technology. Unless there is a value add to the customer, we don't do it. We don't introduce it in our product.
Thanks, Prabhu. I think that makes perfect sense. And again, there is more about this online, certainly on the website and so on. Back to you, Evan, because I do have some additional thoughts I want to share as we sort of
absolutely. And that brings us to what is next for iMarq.
So one of the things, remember I said I do have some things I wanted to share here. So clearly, as we discussed earlier, right, there is much more in terms of straight line organic functionality, as we call it, right? Growth in features and capabilities that our customers will continue to see, as they have always seen in the past. So this is add-on functionality that grows as a result of what we think the field needs, what we are hearing from our customers. But beyond this, at every step of the way and process, you can expect to see elements of AI being introduced. And again, the sole objective, I cannot emphasize this enough, and clearly I've talked about this enough here, is the objective of making life easier for the end users, for those mechanics and technicians who really should not need computer science degrees to be able to use this. And you can expect to have, for example, longer, more meaningful conversations with the Connixt iMarq app, have dialogue with the web in terms of asking questions and saying, hey, how many of these actions did my crew perform across 8 locations today? How many brake pads did we replace last week? Or what exactly is the maintenance history of this particular piece of equipment? But the idea is more meaningful conversations with the data that is already generated as a means to open, complete, and perhaps create tasks. Perhaps ask questions about anomalies, about patterns, end of the day or end of the shift reports, and so on. But I do want to reemphasize again, one thing Prabhu also said, none of this is going to be so automated that decisions get made for you. We still expect human intervention to come and evaluate the data that is presented to make the appropriate decisions. And that clearly is something that we're not going to move from in a long time. Yes. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot more we can speak about this here. Go ahead, Prabhu. Sorry.
No, you already pointed out, Satish. So in coming months, you will see a lot of use cases that is coming as part of our product roadmap, especially related to AI.
Great to hear. Looking forward to it. And that kind of brings us back to some free resources I'd like to quickly kind of cover before we kind of wrap this up. And these are some great resources we have available for download on our website here at connixt.com. The first here is the compliance guide, and this is for short line railroads, and it truly provides a good practical overview of the key regulatory requirements that railroads must manage across track, equipment, signals, bridges, and workforce training. It helps translate complex FRA compliance standards into the field teams and the leadership that they can understand. The guide also highlights common challenges many short lines face with paper-based inspections and documentation, and how modern digital tools can improve visibility, record keeping, and audit readiness. So keep iMarq in mind there. Ultimately, it serves as a resource to help railroads strengthen compliance, reduce operational risk, and maintain safe, efficient operations. So I highly recommend everyone go check that out. In the middle here, we also provide a free asset maintenance ROI tool to help calculate just how much savings you could see by adopting iMarq. I share this with almost every prospect and customer I work with. They find a lot of value there, and in fact, you'd be likely surprised to see just how much you can save by adopting iMarq. And then lastly, we have the State of Asset Maintenance Report, which highlights the gap between modern maintenance strategies and the tools frontline teams actually use. It explores key industry challenges such as reactive maintenance, low technician productivity, and limited digital support for deskless workers. The report also outlines emerging trends in mobile technology, data-driven maintenance, and AI-powered insights, helping organizations understand how to improve asset reliability, efficiency, and of course, workforce productivity. So be sure to check those out at connixt.com. Yeah, they're available for download today, so go ahead there and check it out. And with that, I'd like to bring it back to questions. Now, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop those into the Q&A. Be happy to address them and get some things answered.
And again, I do want to emphasize, if there are other questions that want to come through, please feel free to email us, pop this into the chat if it's still alive later. Would be happy to address these as we go forward. I realize we've sort of taken up more time than we planned, but
absolutely.
But again, happy to address anything else that might come up. I would encourage everyone to go and look through the resources that Evan pointed to, and also come back to our website on the 13th when all of these new features drop. And I'm committing Prabu to do a little quick video to talk about those two. And
the reason why I'm laughing is I'm working on it, Satish. I'm working on it.
We don't know Prabu can deliver product well ahead of time. I mean, it's these videos that he has a problem with. But
yes.
But again, really happy. I mean, we truly are excited to begin the year, with these features, these functionality. But again, we believe that a lot of these are a step change for a number of our customers. And you can expect to see more come through all through in the course of this year. Back to you, Evan.
Absolutely. Okay, we might have a new post. So how does this release roll out to existing customers? Is this over the air?
Oh, it's when it comes to releases, they just update the latest app from the App Store. It automatically gets updated. So that's the technology side of things. But from the business side of things, there will be a release note that will be sent to all our customers, explaining the use cases, and then configure it appropriately for the customers who they based on the customer's need, right? So because again, the whole product is configurable. So we work with customers who need it, and then we enable these functionalities.
Got it. All right. Well, that's all the questions I see here. Again, if anybody has any other questions, non-related, or would like just to see the features live, feel free to reach out to us. You can submit some information directly through our website, or feel free to reach out directly to me and the rest of the sales team. Would be happy to pick up the conversation and highlight the features once more live with you in person.
Well, thank you all. Evan, thanks for sort of holding this together. Thank you all to each and every one of you for attending this event. Prabu and I look forward to meeting you soon at the next webinar, the next show, wherever we do meet again. But thank you all. Evan, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.